Whilst looking at word processing programs for my Spectrum, I had a look at the writer, and I was rather intrigued by one of the functions it has, which is a communication program that allows you to send ASCII files into the RS-232 of your interface 1 and then save them so that they can actually be read in the writer word processor. It works very simply. I've got my laptop connected to the interface 1 RS-232 through the USB, and I've got a USB to serial converter on the cable. I'm running a simple terminal program on the laptop, and the writer communication program is running on the Spectrum. So all I have to do now is choose my source on the writer communication program, which is ASCII file from RS-232, the laptop, and then my destination, which is going to be a writer microdrive file on my Spectrum. So I'll put in a name. In fact, I've put in demo.asc, and now the Spectrum is ready to receive something through the RS-232. So I've already got a short bit of text I've written here on the terminal program, and to send it I just need to do Control-Z. And I don't know if you saw that, that has sent it, and it's now saved it. So what I'll do now is go out of here into the writer and then load it up. So now we're in the writer program itself on the Spectrum, and I'm going to load that ASCII file that we transferred from the laptop, demo.asc. There we go, and there it is. A little hard to see on your screen, but that's the same piece of text. It says this is a piece of text to demonstrate sending an ASCII file from my laptop. It's even put the right single line space, and after the next 2 lines it's put the double line space in as well. So it's transferred very well indeed. The ASCII import function of the writer is a great idea, but it doesn't seem to have been made available in any other word processor that I've found to date for the Spectrum. I want to use Tasword 3 rather than the writer, so that started me thinking about other ways you might be able to do the same thing. It looks like that back in the day there was a product made called Tascom. That's now missing in action, and anyway, from looking at the advertising material, it seems to have been designed to just go one way, to enable to get your Tasword documents out of the Spectrum and into your PC. So without a dedicated ASCII transfer program for Tasword, I began to think, are there other ways you could possibly do it? For example, is there a terminal program that resides on the Spectrum that I could use to talk to my terminal program on my Windows 10 laptop? Thanks to somebody on Facebook, they pointed out there is one. It's called Specterm. Now let me just show you it talking to the laptop and vice versa. So we're now in terminal mode on the right screen, which is the Spectrum. I'm now going to open the port here, so this laptop is now in terminal mode, and I'm just going to say this is me typing on my laptop, and if you can see, that's exactly what's appeared on the Spectrum screen. So it's transferred that text as I've typed it in. It also works the other way, so I can say this is me typing on my Spectrum. And if now you can see, hopefully on the laptop screen, I've replied from the Spectrum, this is me typing on my Spectrum. So the next thing is to be able to save that text that I've sent to the Spectrum onto the Spectrum. You'll notice now that its piece of text is in the buffer. It's 30 bytes long. With Spectrum you have the option to save the code. I'll give it a name. I'll call it Spectrum, and it's now saving it to my microdrive. So having saved that piece of text, I've cleared the buffer, so you can see there's nothing there anymore. I can return to the main menu and I can load that text by loading the file I saved on, and it's now loading it from my microdrive. And there's the 30 bytes back in the buffer, and of course there it is. So it successfully saved that bit of code to the Spectrum and loaded it back. So this is where maybe somebody out there can help me. So I've saved the ASCII file to the cartridge, but Tasword 3 is not yet able to read it. If I try and load it here, there it is, Spectrum. So let's type in Spectrum to load it. And as you'll see in a minute, I will get an error message. Wrong file type, press any key to go to menu. So clearly Tasword can't read the ASCII file in the form it is has been saved by Spectrum. I have found a workaround, but I prefer to understand what's going on here, and if there is some easy way I can solve that problem. Not understanding how I could convert the ASCII code that Spectrum saved onto my microdrive into something that Tasword 3 could read, I started to look around for some possible alternatives, and in a forum I found a solution, but it's using an emulator rather than direct communications. The emulator is called Unreal, and what it's able to do is paste into the keyboard buffer of your Spectrum that it's emulating. So what I've done here is really very simple. I've written a piece of text in Notepad, that could have been any imported bit of text, and I've highlighted it and copied it into the Windows paste buffer. Now all I need to do is to go into the emulator and open Tasword 3. There it is. And then all I need to do is paste it in by doing Shift Alt Insert. And it's like magic. There it goes. And I promise you there's nothing, not using my hands here, that's typing it in automatically from the Windows paste buffer. Now after this is finished, all you need to do is to save, in this case, the SNA. I run it in Speculator because that supports microdrives. Save to the emulated microdrive and then copy the MDR onto my SD card for my vDriveZX. It's mesmerising to watch. It's like you've got a robot doing it all for you. But the interesting thing is that it's kept the form of the text as well. You've got the justification, you've got the spaces, and obviously it's a little bit slow, but it's quick enough. And there it is.